From the fresh shucked oysters to the crab macaroni, some amazing local craft beers, and pretty tasty wine, this is the event to be at this season.
So here we are at the 2014 Fraser Valley Cork Keg here at the Cascades Casino in Langley. And Crystal and I are going to count down our top 5 things we love about this event. And coming in at number 5 is... I'm here with Phil from Bonamici Cellars. And Phil, you're going to give me a crash course on how to taste wine.
Oh, it'd be my pleasure. Well, first of all, make sure your glass is always clean, okay?
Check.
Check. So I'm going to pour a little bit of wine for you, and we'll start off that way. So first thing we do, we look at the color. If it's pleasing to the eye, it doesn't look brown or orangey, you're fine. Because that's one sign of a quality of a wine is its structure as part of its color. Okay. The next thing we do is give it a swirl. And the reason why you swirl, first of all, if you look down the side of the glass, after you stop swirling, you just get to see these little legs. And that tells you how the full-bodied the wine is. The more body, the longer it takes for it to come down the side of the glass. And so those are legs or teardrops of the wine. So you're looking for that stickiness to the glass. And at the same time, when you're swirling, it actually incorporates air, especially into red wines. The red wine really needs to breathe and for you to really appreciate the aroma. So swirl, look, and sniff. And you inhale and you really want to take in those aromatics. Now, what you're smelling is going to be what you're tasting. That's the next thing what people do after they smell, they take a little sip. And yes, we are slurping. Again,
I always wonder about that.
The slurping is required because it really helps incorporate even more air into the wine while it's in your mouth. And that helps your taste buds really open up and really appreciate and connect what you smelled 10 seconds ago to what you're actually tasting. So when those dots connect, it's like a symphony in your mouth.
And would your advice be when people are out getting a bottle of wine, try something different all the time, don't get settled on one type and really experience?
Exactly. In my world, there's no right or wrong way of tasting or appreciating wine.
Well, that's great advice, Phil. I'm glad there's no right or wrong because then I think I'll actually fit in. Phil, thank you so much for giving us a crash course on how to taste wine. And that's our number 5 on our countdown is the old swirl and sniff and slurp. Thank you, Phil.
And coming in at number 4 of our favorite things at the Cork Keg is the craft beer. And I'm here today with Dave from the Fernie Brewing Co. And so Dave, what is it about craft beers? Like what's this huge cultural explosion? Why is it so popular?
It's kind of been a phenomenon over the past couple of years, especially in BC and the Lower Mainland. There's been even this year, about 6 different breweries opening up. People are really trying to get into the craft beer scene, moving away from big breweries and exploring their taste and finding things like IPAs and porters and stouts and really exploring it. It's been really great for the Lower Mainland and for kind of the business as a whole.
Right. And is this your first time at the Cork Keg?
It is. We were actually here a couple of weeks ago for the Tip and Taste. Whistler was last weekend. Victoria was the weekend before. So September's been a busy month for festivals for sure.
Right, and so what is this one right here? What have we got?
This is our growler. So if you ever go to Fernie, go to our brew pub, you can get this filled up. But today we're sampling 4 different beers. We have a pale ale, our pilsner, our red ale, and our kolsch.
Very nice.
Yeah, so a bunch of different styles appeal to all flavors, which is good.
Great. And what do you think of this turnout tonight?
It's great. It's really fun. We're right beside the oyster bar, so it's perfect.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
And coming in at number 3 of our very favorite things about the Fraser Valley Cork Keg is the amazing food. From pulled pork sliders to really great mini desserts. There's a lot of great sampling food here, but the highlight for Crystal and I the last few years have been the oyster bar, the One Fish, Two Fish oyster bar. And this is Heather, the owner of One Fish, Two Fish, which has been open on Fraser Highway in Langley for 16 years?
16 years.
And now you were the very first ocean-wise fish market in the Fraser Valley?
I was, yes.
And what does that mean?
That means that we do our very best to make sure that all of our fish is sustainable and resilient, and that it we'll be here for years to come.
And it's a fantastic shop. If you want to go there and ask questions, you get great advice, great customer service. So tell us about the oysters that we're going to be trying right now.
We've got Cork Keg oysters here, which are from New Brunswick. They have a mild finish, a bit of a sweetness to them with a bit of a butteriness. They're one of my favorites.
Okay, and when you're having an oyster, do you cheers them? I see people cheers them a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, then let's do that.
Let's do it.
Here we go.
Cheers.
Fantastic. Amazing food here at the Fraser Valley Cork Keg.
And coming in at number 2 is the wine, my favorite. So I'm here today with Jessica, who's a sommelier at the event, and she's going to tell us about all the great, fantastic wine that's here tonight. So tell us about that. There's quite the wine scene tonight.
Absolutely. Actually, we have a whole bunch of different wineries here, a great representation from BC. A bunch of the regions are actually present tonight as well. So we have a few of our favorites, some repeats like Kalala and Three Crew from the Okanagan. We've got Summergate, which is new this year.
That one right there.
Yeah, they do some really amazing whites, some really unique varietals as well.
It's empty, so it's
This
popular.
one is. It has been popular, yeah. And we have Township 7 actually from Langley, which is wonderful.
One of my favorites.
Yeah, and they have a tasting room in the Okanagan as well as right in Langley, so that's lovely. Yeah.
Right, well, thank you so much.
It's my pleasure.
Okay.
And coming in at number 1 of our very favorite things about the Fraser Valley Cork Keg is the event itself and the organizers. Now this is Lynette, one of the co-founders of the Fraser Valley Cork Keg. And what makes us so excited about this event is 5-6 years ago, there weren't great events like this in the area. So Lynette, what was the catalyst, what was the genesis of the Fraser Valley Cork Keg?
Well, I used to live in Vancouver and we moved out to Langley, and I really wanted to bring some sort of event out to Langley. So we started it. It was supposed to be trade only, and it fastly grew into consumer, and we're into our 4th annual, and here we are, and it's gotten bigger every year.
And it is fantastic. I've been here every year. It keeps getting better and better every year. What is your grand vision for the Fraser Valley Cork Keg? Is it any bigger than it is today?
Well, I may have some grandiose visions, but you know what? I would love to make it like a little mini playhouse with seminars, winemakers' dinners, really showcasing maybe some of our Fraser Valley wineries, and really making it the event in the Fraser Valley.
Well, it is certainly one of our very favorite events. Thank you so much for putting it on. It's fantastic year after year. This is Lynette, one of the co-founders of the Fraser Valley Cork Keg. And there you have it, the top 5 things we love most about the Fraser Valley Cork Keg. It's truly one of Crystal's and mine favorite events here in the Fraser Valley. If you haven't been to a Cork Keg yet, make sure you put it on the calendar for 2015.
Amazing event. I'm having such a good time. So don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Cheers!
Cheers! And on that note, there's some bacon chocolate happening, so I'm gonna go.
All right. One of our favorite events every year. If you haven't been, make sure you put it on your calendar for 2015.
And don't forget to follow us on Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. And to
She stole my glass in the middle of the scene!